biggest positive news came this week from inflation. The latest inflation report showed prices cooling again, especially housing costs like rent. And that's really important because housing's been one of the main reasons that inflation stayed high for so long. We are finally seeing those slower rent numbers that I feel like I've been talking about forever show up in the actual reports, and that will help mortgage rates over time. Several Fed officials did acknowledge this progress. One of the most influential voices at the New York Fed said inflation looks like it's moving lower again after we had a bit of a pause. There was the same kind of thing prior. But his takeaway was that interest rates are still slightly restrictive, meaning that the Fed has room to ease when the data allows. And that's a supportive message for rates, even if it doesn't cause an immediate drop. And on the housing side, we saw existing home sales tick a little higher, and that just tells us buyers are still active, even with rates where they are. Inventory is also starting to look a little more balanced, and homes are actually sitting on the market just a little bit longer, at least nationwide. Obviously, not a crash, and it's more of a slow return toward normal, which is healthier for both buyers and sellers. But keep in mind that real estate can be completely different, even zip code to zip code. So I don't find these nationwide numbers to be particularly helpful. The labor market did continue to send mixed signals. Headline job numbers didn't look terrible, but when you dig deeper, more people are working part-time because they have to, and more people are holding multiple jobs, and it's still hard to find new work once somebody gets laid off. And that kind of cooling usually helps bring inflation pressure down and also keeps future rate cuts on the table. There was a lot of noise this week around politics and mortgage rates. If you tuned into Trump's speech, claims that mortgage rates will drop quickly should be taken with caution. Mortgage rates usually fall when inflation cools or the economy slows, not just because of a speech or promises that get made. Lennar, though, a major home builder, did say that the federal government's actively working with the housing industry, I should say, on affordable solutions in an earnings call. No details really available yet, but it is notable that those conversations are happening behind the scenes. I do wish I had more on the details or the truth in that claim, but basically this week mortgage rates didn't make a huge move this week, but things do seem to be improving. Inflation's cooling off and the job market's losing momentum like we've talked about, and those together support lower rates in the future, even if the path there isn't going to be a straight line down. Next week is, of course, quieter with the holiday, but we'll get updates on economic growth and manufacturing. And then after that, we're going to shift the focus right back to inflation and jobs. But if you're trying to decide whether to buy, sell, refinance, or just plan ahead, this is the kind of environment where strategy really matters more than headlines. Have a great weekend and happy holidays.